Hey, welcome to 6.1 part 2. Okay, it's asking us to find 2 points and use the slope formula, but again, even though that's a useful method, I don't think that is the most efficient way given a table. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick 2 points on the table and I'm going to find the change in y and the change in x. So if I'm going from 3 to 5, I'm going up 2, so that's positive 2. And if I'm going from 1 to 5, I'm going up 4, so that's positive 4. Then I'm going to do change in y divided by change in x. My change in y is 4. My change in x is 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So my answer is the slope equals 2. If you want to, you certainly can pick one of these points and use the slope formula and find the slope for practice if you want to. But there's not necessarily a reason for me to show you how to do it again. If you are having problems with it though, we can certainly practice that in class. So let me know if you want more experience with the slope formula. Okay, so now we're going to do point slope. We are going to pick a favorite point and make an equation out of it. I'm going to pick 1, 3 because I like it. They're nice small numbers and they're positive. So remember, our formula is y minus y1 equals m times the quantity x minus x1. So I have y minus y1 is 1, and then our slope is 2, x minus, and then x1 is going to be 3. So that's our equation. I'll write it in the cute little star. And then for slope-intercept form, I just need to get the y on the one side by itself. So I'm going to distribute my 2, and I get y minus 1 equals 2x minus 6, and then I'm going to add 1 to both sides, so I get y equals 2x minus 5. So y equals 2x minus 5. Then to change that into into standard form, I want my x on the other side. So I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides. So now I have 2x plus y equals negative 5. I want my x to be positive, so I'm going to multiply it by negative 1. So now I get 2x minus y equals positive 5. And that's my answer for that one. Okay, so I do not have a blank copy of the next page, so I'm just going to show you the notes on it, and then I'm going to do my graphs on a piece of graph paper, and you can put yours on the graph, and then I'll show you the whole thing when we're finished just to make sure. Okay, this is kind of duh stuff, but we will go over it. So slope-intercept form, it is easiest to write that when you have a slope and a y-intercept. I know, it's revolutionary. Point slope form works best when you have a slope and a point. And it can also work when you have 2 points because then it's easy to get the slope from that. And then standard form works best when your x and y intercepts work out to be whole numbers, or if you are given the x and y intercept, standard form is also easy to find. Okay, so let's do our equations and graph them. So we have 3x plus 2y equals 12. Now, just a hint while I'm drawing out my graph here is that if in doubt, graphing with slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b is probably what you're most familiar with. And if in doubt, you can always change anything into slope-intercept form and graph it. Another thing you could do is make a table of values, and you can always graph that way. So I'm going to show you some helpful things, like the easiest, most efficient way to graph anything. I'll show you those. But if you can't remember how to do them, you can always go back to the basics, making a table of values or graphing with slope-intercept form. And if you're not sure what all of that means, go ahead and jot yourself a question down and we can work on that a little bit more in class. Okay, so anyway, when we have standard form, the most efficient way to graph is to find our x-intercept and our y-intercept. So x-intercept means where it hits the x-axis, and every single point along here has 0 as its y coordinate. For example, this is 0, 0, this is 1, 0, 2, 0, 3, 0. You get the point. Everything is something 0 along here. So that means that when we are looking for our x-intercept, y is 0. So we've got 3x plus 2 times 0 equals 12, and that's going to find us our x-intercept. So 2 times 0 is 0. Anything plus 0 is just whatever you started with. So we can simplify that out to 3x equals 12, and then of course x has to be 4. So on our y-axis, we're going to put a point at x equals 4. Then we're going to do our y-intercept, and our y-intercept all along here, all of our x values are 0. This is 0, -1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2. Everything is 0 for x. So that means we're going to do 3 times 0. I'm putting 0 in instead of my x over here. And then plus 2y equals 12. My 3 times 0, and then 0 plus 2y leaves me with just 2y equals 12. So y equals 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 should be all the way up here. And then you just draw between those 2 points, and that's your graph. So that's if you have standard form. If you have, like the second one, y equals 1/2 x plus 4, the slope-intercept form, and this is what you probably spent the most time on last year. So the first thing you're going to do is get your y-intercept. So our y-intercept is 4. So on the y-axis, we're going to find 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then right here, 1 divided by 2, rise over run. So that means you're going up by this and over by this. So up 1, over 2, just like that. And then we can take our, you can take a ruler usually, and just draw your line. Okay, let's take a look at the other one. So the next one is y minus 2 equals 2/3 x plus 5. So if you have something that is in point slope form, the most efficient way to go is to use your point. So our point, this is our y value and this is our x value. So remember, point slope form is minus. So this, when we see the plus 5, it's really minus -5. So our x is -5, and then our y value over here is going to be 2. So -5, 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2. So that's the place where we are starting. And then we're going to go up from there on our slope is 2/3. So 2 is the rise and 3 is the run. So we're going to go up 2 over 3, and then that's our point. Okay, so please try the very last one, which is also standard form, by yourself. So pause it and give that a try. And remember, it's the same as number 1, standard form. So you graph it usually by finding the intercepts. But if you have a hard time with it, you can change it into y equals mx plus b, or you can make a table of values. Pause it, and then I will show you the answers. Okay, so there's your answer for the last one. Make sure you jot down any questions for me, and we will talk about them in class.